I just wish to make a very short manifestation on the issue earlier. This representation could not relate to the cherished and long-standing tradition because this is the first term of this representation. Nonetheless, I understand that by that tradition, we're supposed to extend parliamentary courtesy and by which we're not supposed to raise questions on the budget of the OVP. However, Madam Chair, I wish to ask the committee if we will be always submitting to this tradition, what happens to the constitutional provision on public office is a public trust, and that we should always be accountable to the people. While this representation differ to the wisdom of the senior members, I wish to manifest that I, and I hope along with the new breed of legislators, are inclined to honor the tradition, contrary to the manifestation of the Honorable Marcoleta. However, Madam Chair, what happens if the tradition is not sufficient? What happens if the tradition is not effective? What happens if the tradition does not unite and instead it divides? Let us all remember that in all parliamentary proceedings, the majority always rule. And it is on this light that I wish to commend the chair for immediately proceeding to the division of the House. And when the committee voted for no, it has rendered the issue yes, moot and academic. And I concede to the Honorable Garin that even this representation disregard this rule. That is a manifestation, Madam Chair. And proceeding to the interpellation, I wish to invite the attention of the COA to welfare goods. Can we show the slide first, please? There are three...
Yes, while waiting for the slides. Indeed,
yes, Madam Chair.
Indeed, the highest form of tradition in the House is the will of the majority.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Salamat.
But that was very enlightening, Madam Chair. The exchange of arguments. And proceeding, Madam Chair, I wish to state for the record that in order to address three social problems, problem on malnutrition, problem on poverty, and even problem on calamity response, the OVP launched the distribution of welfare goods program, as well as the OVP Kalusugan food truck. I hope we can show the slide. However, Madam Chair,
the slides, please.
Regardless of how ideal and how good these programs are, there are rules that we need to follow. And I wish to invite the attention. The first slide, please. The first slide.
One slide back.
This is the last.
Oh, sorry.
I have 3 slides only, Madam Chair. There. To address the problem on malnutrition, calamity response, and hunger, the OVP launched the distribution of welfare goods and Kalusugan food truck, and will laud this program of the Office of the Vice President. Nonetheless, Madam Chair, there are rules that need to be followed, and this is in line with the constitutional provision that public office is a public trust, and therefore we need to follow these rules. I wish to invite the attention of the committee to Section 123 of PD 1445. This is about the audit of government offices. Kailangan po natin ng internal control. And then we proceed to Section 124, PD 1445 again. The responsibility of the head of the agency to install the internal control. Now, I wish to go to the COA Ito po bang Section 123 at Section 124, were this complied with by the Office of the Vice President during the implementation, launching of this distribution of welfare goods, as well as the OVP Kalusugan food truck?
Madam Chair, based on our report, the various deficiencies noted in the distribution of welfare
Madam
goods...
Chair, can we ask the COA to limit the answer to the question which is being propounded? Nasunod po ba itong Section 123? Yes or no?
Based on our report, it is not strictly in accordance with sections 1, 2, 3, and
So
1,
it
2,
was
4.
not strictly complied with. In other words, there's no sufficient internal control. Tama po ba?
Yes, Madam Chair.
How about Section 124? Did the Vice President heed to the mandate of Section 124 that she has to make sure that she will install the internal control? Nasunod po ba o hindi ang Section 124?
Madam Chair, based on the COA report, there is a guidelines, but then the guidelines is not sufficient. So there is
In other words, Section 124 was not strictly complied with also by the OVP. That is the implication of the answer of the COA. Now, I wish to invite the attention of the COA to the documents that need to be provided for us to be able to liquidate the distribution of goods. One is distribution list. This is only few of the several documents. 2 is property acknowledgement receipt. 4 is request and issue slip. And 5 is deed of donation. Ito po bang 5 documentary requirements na ito ay na-submit, na-provide ng OVP in the liquidation of the distribution of welfare goods? Yes or no lang po?
Madam Chair, based on our report or audit, some of distribution list was submitted, but some of the distribution lists were not submitted. For particularly those mentioned in the report for the distribution of rice.
Thank you. And for us to have a better picture of what the COA meant by some were submitted, some were not, may I request the Secretariat to please flash the second slide. There. The report of the COA shows that 557,000 Pansarap buns dated October 5, 2023 has no proof of acknowledgement receipt. Does the COA confirm?
Madam Chair, yes po.
It also shows that 434,000 also Pansarap buns on December 14, 2023 lacks acknowledgement receipt of the school as well as proof of acknowledgement receipt. Does the COA confirm?
Madam Chair, yes po.
Can you please show again the... Does the COA confirm the 460,000 supply of rice? That there is no proof of acknowledgement receipt. This one is dated March 31, 2023. Does the COA confirm?
Yes, Madam Chair.
How about the 218,750 lacking in proof of acknowledgement receipt? This is dated March 31 also. This is also about rice. Does the COA confirm?
Madam Chair, yes po.
And ultimately, this one is really a huge amount. Malaking halaga po ito, Madam Chair. 62,774,000. Distribution of year-end food packs on December 29, 2023. Wala ding proof of acknowledgement receipt. Does the COA confirm?
Yes, Madam Chair.
In other words, Madam Chair, this is almost 65 million which were not properly liquidated with the COA. Tanungin ko lang po ang COA, Madam Chair, what do you plan to do considering the huge amount which are not properly liquidated by the OVP?
Madam Chair, come again.
What does the COA plan to do with the almost 65 million unliquidated amount?
For this disbursement with not supported with complete documentation, we, based on our recommendation, it will be required to the OBP to submit.
Until when are they allowed to submit the liquidation of this distribution of welfare goods?
Then also until what? Come again?
Until when are they allowed to submit?
Madam Chair, if not submitted within the time given with the OBP, we will address it or issue a notice of suspension.
Wala po ba tayong guidelines when it comes to the prescriptive period kung kailan tayo magsasubmit ng documentary requirements to explain the distribution of welfare goods? This is almost 65 million, Madam Chair. And yet this is not properly liquidated. Nonetheless, Madam Chair, let me proceed to the second concern, the lapses in inventory management. We understand that the OVP likewise launched Kalusugan Food Truck. This is a 6-wheeler truck which serves as a mobile kitchen in response to calamities. However, Madam Chair, upon reading of the report of the COA, there are 3 significant observations. Can we please flash the third slide? 1, the food items are near expiry. 2, foods are not found in the storage. And 3, they are placed in unventilated storage. Madam Chair, I understand that this is not a huge amount. However, I wish to invite the attention of the committee that this is the same observation that we had in the budget of the Department of Education, Madam Chair. So I wish to ask I wish to raise the concern that ano po ba itong failure to account the distribution of welfare goods? Sana naman hindi. But I'm afraid that this might be another case of ghost delivery. How do we know that this is not really a case of ghost delivery? Let us be reminded by the controversy hunting the pharmaceuticals. And let us be reminded as well by the provision on malversation under Article 217. Finally, Madam Chair, regarding the lapses in inventory management, I think it is more prudent that we leave Kalusugan Food Truck to the management and implementation of the DSWD, which is the agency specialized on catering community service. And with that observation, Madam Chair, I hope that this will be not an incident similar to the one which transpired in 2015, kung saan may nadiskubre po tayong ibinaon na 500 sacks of rice because they were not properly managed. These are observations, Madam Chair, which the attention of the COA and all the concerned agencies I really wish to call. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Salamat.
Madam Chair?
Yes, please.
I may clarify. The PAR is the post-activity report was that is the lacking documents. That's not. Yes, that for the record, it is the post-activity report, not the property acknowledgement receipt.
And may we know the significance of the post-activity report?
The post-activity report serve as the proof that there is an activity happen on the distribution.
Well, it is my humble submission, Madam Chair, that it is as significant as proof of acknowledgement of receipt after all. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Salamat. We now proceed to the minority. The Honorable Raul Manuel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning sa lahat ng nandito, except of course the OVP kasi hindi po sila sumipot. Madam Chair, balikan ko lang yung sa Magnegosyo Taday kasi isa ito sa mga supposedly innovative na programa ng Office of the Vice President. Pero kanina nabanggit po, and as confirmed by COA, na sa budget nito for 2023 na dapat ay 150 million pesos. Madam Chair, ang nagamit lang ay 600,000. So Madam Chair, yan ay 0.4%. Madam Chair, walang 1% ng budget for that program pala yung nagamit ng OVP. Kaya po siguro hindi talaga sumasagot sa mga tanong last time no August 27 on the proposed budget. Kasi nagpo-propose din for a similar program para sa susunod na taon. Pero it shows, Madam Chair, 2023 pala, ganito ang nangyari. Madam Chair, can we confirm din sa COA na dun sa 600,000 pesos na nagamit, yun ay napunta lang sa 4 na beneficiaries with each beneficiary group receiving 150,000 pesos?
Madam Chair, yes po. Based on our report, number 7 observation.
And Madam Chair, napunta iyan sa haluan ng merong mga women's group tas merong LGBT group, Madam Chair, dun sa 4. Madam Chair, supposedly, assuming lang na same rate yung mabibigyan, 150,000 per beneficiary group. Madam Chair, yung buong budget for the program, dapat 1,000 yung beneficiaries, Madam Chair. Pero yung nakatanggap lang pala, Madam Chair, 4. No? So actually, Madam Chair, dapat hindi natin palampasin ang ganitong performance tapos manghihingi pa ulit for 2025. Ganito pala yung nangyari. Madam Chair, doon naman sa pagbabago campaign.
Madam Chair, may I interrupt?
Yes, may add. Sige,
For
Madam Chair.
the Magnegosyo Taday program, for the information, this is the pilot. The pilot year implementation is the year 2023. That's why one of the reason of the low utilization is, yun po, nagsisimula pa lang yung program. At the same time, there are also in the report that there is a difficulty to comply with the required documents. So may mga documents po na hindi na co-comply ng mga beneficiary. That is why hindi po sila nag-grant. So that's why the reason is only for yung nagkaroon ng release for that 2023 po.
Tapos Madam Chair, strict bang 150K yung pwedeng matanggap ng bawat beneficiary group or pwedeng mag-vary yung amount?
Madam Chair, there is a category if ever individual ka or group or association, and then there is a limit on din kung ilan kayo member dun sa organization. So it varies po yung amount.
So pwedeng mas maliit pa sa 150K yung matanggap kung maliit yung beneficiary group, Madam Chair?
Madam Chair, for the lowest po is 100,000 po if ever yung organization is mayroong 20 members and below.
So kung ganun, Madam Chair, ibig sabihin, minimum pa lang yung 1,000 na pwedeng naging beneficiaries. Pwede pa pala mas marami yung nakatanggap, mas madidistribute yung pera across smaller beneficiary groups, Madam Chair. So it goes to show na kahit kakasimula pa lang nitong program, pero Madam Chair, kung hindi man lang umabot sa kalahati yung nagamit na pondo, marami tayong kababayan, Madam Chair, naghahanap ng tulong or pangkapital sa mga small businesses nila, tapos ito pala merong pera sa OVP, hindi talaga katanggap-tanggap, Madam Chair, na 0.4% lang yung napamahagi, Madam Chair. Doon naman sa pagbabago campaign program, can we confirm din sa COA na bahagi ng observations nila ay dun sa Manual of Operations, hindi po kompleto yung guidelines and procedures sa pag-identify ng mga target school beneficiaries. Tama po ba yun, Madam Chair?
Madam Chair, based on our report, yes, confirm po.
And Madam Chair, kasi itong pagbabago campaign, dito kasama yung pamamahagi ng libro, yung isang kaibigan, Madam Chair, na tayo po ay nabansagang editor noon. Tapos ipapamahagi pala, Madam Chair, hindi din identified saan mapupunta. Madam Chair, can COA also confirm, wala rin sa guidelines and procedures yung determination ng target grade levels of students na makakatanggap?
Yes po, Madam Chair.
Also, Madam Chair, hindi din malinaw paano yung distribution talaga ng bags and dental kits.
Based on our report, it is not uniformly determined yung distribution po nung pagbabago bags. Kasi yung distribution list is not uniformly predetermined as to the names of the students.
So, Madam Chair, dun sa mga nasample ng COA, upon checking nga dun sa paano na-implement yung proyekto, gaano kadami lang yung merong predetermined na distribution lists?
Based on our report, out of the 57 samples of distribution per school, only 4 have predetermined distribution list of students, while the remaining 53 have no predetermined list of students, Madam Chair.
Tapos, Madam Chair, can COA also confirm na nung nag-inquire sa concerned personnel na nag-implement nitong pagbabago campaign, yung pamamahagi ng mga bags na merong libro, Madam Chair, may mga instances na pre-signed na ng mga estudyante na beneficiaries. Ibig sabihin, pumirma sila sa forms, pero hindi pa pala sigurado na magiging present sila to receive the bags kung saan nakalista sila as intended beneficiary. Can COA confirm that, Madam Chair?
Madam Chair, yes. Based on our inquiry with the concerned personnel, it is some of the distribution lists were pre-signed by the students prior to the actual distribution in order to conduct the distribution process efficiently.
So, parang baligtad, Madam Chair, kasi usually kapag halimbawa merong pamamahagi ng assistance o kung ano mang mga government services, di ba, pipirma ka dahil natanggap mo na yung kung ano man yung dapat na mare-receive mo, Madam Chair. Pero dito pala, may mga pumirma pero hindi pa siguradong tatanggap sila ng bag. Tapos ire-report ng OVP, Madam Chair, na nakapamahagi siya ng ganitong bilang ng bags, ganyan. So, again, Madam Chair, isa itong example ng hindi katiwa-tiwalang mga programa ng OVP. Pati yung inventory management, Madam Chair, wala ding malinaw na guidelines. Can COA confirm?
Madam Chair, based on our report, verification disclosed that 9 out of the 57 sample distribution have attached the required form. So yung required form po nun is yun yung nire-required dun sa manual of operation ng program wherein kasama yung inventory management to monitor. So out of the 57 sample, 9 lang po yung hindi po naka-attach yung required form.
Okay, so Madam Chair, all in all, can COA say na hindi strictly in compliance sa Government Auditing Code ang ganitong pag-handle ng OVP doon sa kanyang pagbabago campaign program?
Madam Chair, yes. That's why may recommendations kami dito to strengthen the agency's internal control on the implementation of the pagbabago campaign program. Madam Chair.
So, Madam Chair, aside dun sa pagbabago campaign, tapos ang Magnegosyo Taday program, aside din dun sa nabanggit ng mga colleagues natin, Madam Chair, pinapakita nito na based on actual experience ay inefficient sa pag-provide ng services ang Office of the Vice President. Pero then again, no, kung usapin ng confidential funds, ang bilis-bilis na gamitin. Tapos, Madam Chair, kung doon naman sa, kung looking forward, no, kung yun yung gustong pag-usapan lang dati ng Vice President. Pero it seems na hindi din naman seryoso ang opisina dun sa pag-ensure na ma-provide yung mga services na ito. Kasi nga, hindi din naman talaga sumasagot kung present, tapos ngayon nga, hindi humaharap. So, nasa taong bayan po natin actually to judge kung katiwa-tiwala pa ba talaga na asahan sa ganitong mga serbisyo ang Office of the Vice President. Sa mga nakabenepisyo naman po, actually, napatunayan po, kayo ay iilang porsyento lang pala talaga, no, nung mga dapat sana ay makatanggap, and you even deserve better doon sa mga nakuha na po ninyo mula sa Office of the Vice President. At sa mga umaasa naman po sa OVP, parang we should temper our hopes, no, doon sa pag-rely pa na magiging maayos or makakatanggap tayo ng sapat na mga serbisyo mula sa opisina. So if I am to propose something concrete, Madam Chair, no, and it can be dealt with at the appropriate time, pero on record, Madam Chair, ang sinusulong na natin ay tanggalan na ng budget yung socio-economic program delivery ng Office of the Vice President, Madam Chair, including yung PS na 87.5 million, MOE na 1.77 billion, tsaka yung capital outlay na 56.4 million, Madam Chair. total po niyan is 1.9 billion. So kung ganun, Madam Chair, that we will significantly slash the OVP budget for 2025, merong matitira na around 128 million, Madam Chair. Yun na lang, total naman pala ay mabuti pa na sa ibang ahensya na dumiretso yung ating mga kababayan for services. Yun lang, Madam Chair. Salamat.
Right?